Hey guys, I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, I haven't kept up with the Mission Impossible movies for a very long time. It's been a very long while since we've seen a new Mission Impossible movie. I think the last one came out back in 2018. I think it was Mission Impossible Fallout. So, it's easy to say that I don't think many people would really remember the franchise until this new movie came out. But I'm a fan of Tom Cruise. I think his acting is really good, and some of the stunts he pulls up is amazing. So I had some sort of good expectations for this film, and I was also a massive fan of Top Gun Maverick, which I wouldn't have thought a movie like that would have worked after that movie came out, being a sequel to a movie that was 36 years ago. But that movie is just still a blast, and it's still great to watch. So how does Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 live up? I would say it does most things good, but it's not amazing. I don't think you're going to go crazy watching this movie. I think you could kind of feel that, a lot of the stunts that Tom Cruise has done with this franchise, it does feel a bit, cliche, really. So I think all in all, I could really describe this movie. It's good. It does most things I would say good for an action type movie, but you're not gonna remember it for a lot of things really. So I think it's a good movie, but arguably forgettable. Now I'm gonna kind of explain the reasons for this movie is kind of forgettable, and I think there are what I would describe few issues with this film. And I think the main issue I would argue is that this movie doesn't really, what I would describe, have a story. The story is very cliche. It's very much another sort of throwaway sequel type story where they use the key to everything, and it's just basically you have a bunch of characters who are just fighting for this key. I'm not really going to kind of go into the depths of the story or kind of go into it because it will probably lead to spoilers, so it's kind of best for yourself to kind of watch the movie to kind of find out. But I feel like a lot of these movies kind of follow the same sort of narrative, and it's very much becomes a bit of a chore to watch now. So this movie kind of suffers that issue. Also, I think one of the bigger issues I would argue for this movie, if it was kind of following on this sort of story about you have a lot of characters trying to fight for this key to everything, and you have Ethan Hunt and his team trying to go after it as well as coming up with other characters. It doesn't really explain what his purpose is and what this key is really there for and at all. And so it's kind of based around this sort of AI or this powerful foe as called the Entity, and that's kind of where it kind of starts with. It kind of starts with the beginning of the film, what really happens, until maybe it develops later on what Ethan Hunt's case is there for. But you're not really going to lead to many reasons why he's in this mission in the first place. I think they kind of just had to fit a story somehow just to kind of make something more useful for the franchise. And I think you spend a lot of time watching it, you don't really see it very much develop. And I'm going to kind of also speak about another issue as well. This movie is unbearably long. I was very shocked to know that this movie was over 2 hours and 40 minutes, and you do feel every single minute of it going through. It's so troped out being too long, and I think they really could have made it shorter for what it was. It kind of verges on too many scenes for no real reason. So there's always like certain bits of dialogue and characters that come in, and they don't really have anything to add to the value of this movie as much. So I think really from a narrative perspective, from a story aspect, it's very lackluster, and you're going to be left scratching your head why the story of this movie isn't the way it is. But you could potentially argue this is a part one of a movie, they're going to have another part, maybe there'll be more answers to be explained later. But it's kind of with these films, you kind of have to explain the first part of this movie to actually explain what happens for a reason. You don't really get any answers with this movie, which is a shame. So yeah, that's kind of one of my biggest issues I have with this film. So I'm going to kind of go on to some of the things I liked. I actually think the action is actually really good. I think they do put a lot of emphasis on some good moments. I can't really explain the moments too much because it will kind of spoil the film a little bit. But there is a lot of action sequences and scenes that really kind of changes the feel of the movie a bit. And I have to say, for the production value, I actually enjoyed it. I actually think there was a lot of good moments in terms of the action. I also felt the acting was very good. I think every character did have a key role to play, which was good to see. So obviously, I think Tom Cruise's character as Ethan Hunt was really, really good, and he delivered a good performance, and he did deliver some good stunts as well. I was also pretty impressed with Haley Atwell's character. She plays Grace, and she does kind of look like a cool sidekick to Ethan, but I think some bits of the scene that it kind of felt a little bit of there wasn't really so much of an on-screen chemistry between them. There was kind of back and forth dialogue, but I think for a lot of the times, I think for most parts it was actually good for what it was. So those were kind of some of the things that really stood out that I actually really liked. I thought a lot of the visuals were good. They had a lot of scenes as well, with especially with some of the action as well, and also some of the ways that the story moves on. They do kind of add different pieces of scenery and visuals to the film as well to make it more diverse, which I actually really enjoyed. So I definitely think this movie definitely did have the production value of actually delivering action, which they actually did pretty well. But yeah, as much as I would like to praise what the Mission Impossible franchise has delivered, I do think this movie does lack the substance of delivering a good story. The story I would best describe is very half-baked, and there's lots of holes that are not really left explained very well. So, as much as I could really praise it, I think really the story does kind of not really stick very well. And I think it kind of leaves a lot of things that doesn't really explain in the first movie going into this, probably the second part of this film. So, yeah, if that was really the one thing I would say, that was kind of the issue. I also feel there's an issue that I don't think this movie has anything more different to added value from the Mission Impossible franchise. I don't think this really has any sort of original production value ideas to coming to the franchise. But to be honest with you, I think original ideas in modern movies now is just so unheard of now. So I think kind of making that point would just seem little bit just speaking out of thin air. So overall, if I had to rate Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, I'm probably going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it does most things I can say that is good, but again, I don't really think you could really think that this movie is what I would describe a great, amazing piece of production. I think definitely you see Tom Cruise's stunts, they look really cool, but the story just does not develop very well. And there's lots of unexplained answers narrative wise. So, yeah. So, overall, I think this is a good film, but I do think it's kind of lackluster in terms of from a narrative department. And, yeah, that's about it. See you later.